I'm Eric Reeser. Only 4 teams in NFL history have ever made the playoffs after a 1-5 start. The Baltimore Ravens hope to be the 5th. Lamar Jackson returned from a 3-game absence and threw 4 touchdowns as the Ravens beat the Dolphins 28-6 last night in Miami. Baltimore improves to 3-4 on the season and within striking distance of the AFC North. The Bengals have the same record and will host the Bears Sunday at 1. Cincinnati's Joe Flacco is dealing with an injury to his throwing shoulder and was limited Thursday at practice. The Cleveland Browns are on a bye, thankfully, in Week 9. In college football, number 1 Ohio State hosts Penn State tomorrow at noon. Buckeyes are 19.5-point favorites. We'll have live fan pregame coverage starting Saturday morning at 6:30. Ohio State's at Purdue next Saturday at 1. In baseball, the Blue Jays can capture their first World Series title since 1993. Toronto hosts LA tonight in Game 6 of the World Series. And the Blue Jackets are back at Nationwide tomorrow against the Blues. You can hear Blue Jackets hockey all season long right here on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lesmerises joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
Oh, baby, let's do it live on a Football Friday edition of the program. Buckeyes and Nittany Lions. There was a time you hear those bells, and this is the matchup, and you said, oh, baby, you're in for one. It's a 19.5-point spread in this one. It's crazy what has happened this year with Penn State and what is going to happen to this rivalry. These are the 2nd and 7th winningest programs in the history of the sport. They share a border. For the majority of the time that they played football, it was one of the high school football all-star games, of course, the Big 33 game between Ohio and Pennsylvania. I have no idea. You'd have to ask Jack Park why they didn't play all the time, only forever, but they didn't. But they did play. This notion that this wasn't some sacred rivalry to be protected by Penn State is utter nonsense. They played for the first time in 1912. Penn State won that game 37-0. Did not play again until 1956. Another Penn State win. There are a couple of series of home and aways. Penn State won a couple of them in the 60s. Ohio State won 2 of them in the 70s. And then in the late 70s, and then the last one in 1980. In 1993, Penn State officially joined the Big Ten Conference. From 1993 until tomorrow, they played every single year. The first time they played in 93, the Buckeyes won 24-6. 94 is probably their most famous and proud win in the series. That's the Kajana Carter Goes Nuts game. 63-14 is the victory in that one. From 93 to 2000, it's a pretty even rivalry. Ohio State wins 5 of them. Penn State wins 4 of them. Since 01, it has been wildly lopsided. The Buckeyes with 18 wins to just 5 for the Nittany Lions. You think about the people who have played in this game since 93. I think sometimes we get thinking to ourselves of 93 as if it's recent. It's not. It's been a long, long time since 1993.
What do you mean?
I know. I don't like to be reminded of it either, but it has been. It's been a long time. You think about the fact that Woody Hayes coached against Joe Paterno, who coached against Jim Tressel. Think about that connective tissue of this series. Think about the last time you remember Joe Paterno walking down into Ohio Stadium feeling like it was probably going to be it. I was at that game. there was gravity to that game. Think about the classic games that we've had in the last 15 years or so. The Sackhoff game over there with Joey Bosa getting Christian Hackenberg down. J.T. Barrett played as good a quarterback as you'll ever see, to the point where it's almost referred to as the J.T. Barrett game. You want to talk about the Will Howard game last year? Because to me, that's when he grabbed the team by its throat, with the press conference that week, the early interception, and then the rebound from it, and it kind of set some things in motion. You think about the white out at night over there, the scarlet out at night over here before Fox wrecked it and made every game be a big noon game between these two teams. And with all of that history and all of those names and all of those memories, when it came time to decide if they were going to continue to play this series, Ohio State said yes, and Penn State said no. And this thing won't be played again until 2028. So the Nittany Lions limp in here, wounded, near 3-score underdogs in the game. And essentially, they said, no mas. We're good. We don't need to play anymore. We've tried. It hasn't worked. We're not up to your standard. And we're going to go hide in the corner and play Rutgers in Maryland instead, because this is not a game we want to continue to play. And folks, that is a damn shame, because these two teams should have been playing every year going back to 19 and 12 and every year in between, and they should play every year going forward. This game should be at night. It should be in late October, early November, over there or here. Either one doesn't matter. And this is one of those examples of college football, the Big Ten, and in this instance, Penn State, ruining something that has become very special through the years. Officer?
Good morning, gentlemen. It does feel like with James Franklin being gone, maybe that attitude changes a little bit. Although the programs you mentioned that Penn State's kind of in league with now, that's where the Nittany Lions are going to be over the next couple of years. Like they'll get talent, but are they going? They're not going to. I don't expect them to fall down a chasm like Michigan did, but I don't expect them to be competing for a Big Ten championship anytime soon. And that's just where this rival, I mean, it's not a rivalry anymore, because 2016 was the last time they won. Now, they've threatened, certainly, many more times since then. Yeah. But in the next 10 years, what were you going to get from, would you rather put your vast estates, either of you, on Penn State making a Big Ten championship in the next 10 years, or Minnesota?
Well, Penn State, but I just think that if you're them, the idea that you were handed a piece of paper and said, what are the three teams you want to play? And Penn State didn't write Ohio State. By the way, to be fair, they didn't write Michigan either. And I know Ohio State wrote down Penn State after Big Ten expansion. I don't know if Michigan wrote down Penn State, but Ohio State did. Ohio State wrote down two teams, Michigan, Penn State. Penn State said, yeah, we're good. And so this is it. This is the last time you're going to see it until 2028 before these two teams meet again in the regular season. That's shameful, Beck.
It's awful. It's absolutely awful, and shame on them and shame on the Big Ten for letting it happen. Bo, I remember September 27th really well because there was a lot going on for me. I was up at Walsh University with Ohio Dominican, and Ohio State was playing Washington at that time, a game that we were all very excited for because we thought Washington was a pretty good team, and they are a good team, and that was going to be a tough road test for Ohio State, and Ohio State gets that win. And then I remember driving home and getting home and flipping on the TV, and you had Georgia, Alabama that you could go to, and you had Penn State, Oregon. And I flipped on the TV, and Penn State in the beginning of in the fourth quarter was trailing by 14. Oregon scored to go up 14. You're like, well, this is over. And then Drew Aller makes a play throwing the ball. They get a little closer. Then he makes a play running the ball. They get a little closer. They tie the game up, and it goes to overtime. So they're white out, Penn State, overtime with Oregon. They're the number 3 team in the country.
Yep.
And 3 weeks later, they fired their head coach.
Yeah.
It was just a 3-week span that I don't know if we've ever seen for a program like Penn State. And it has changed all of our thoughts about this Saturday. This was supposed to be a massive game in the shoe tomorrow. And now it feels just like any other game.
Yeah, and that's shameful. That's all shameful. It's also how fragile all of this is. It's fragile how college football is, how these teams are now. Maybe it's apropos that James Franklin isn't here for the last one, because maybe the one mistake that he made at Penn State was aspiring to try to be Ohio State. He had that press conference over here after one of his losses when he said, we're a good program, but we're not a great one. Or maybe he said, we're great, but we're not elite. I can't remember the exact phrasing of it. But the idea was, we're trying to get to where they are. And I respected him so much for saying that part out loud. And they put everything into this game. They put everything into this season. This was it. When we did the preview at the start of the year, we weren't sure exactly what Michigan would be at the end. It looks like they're going to be quite formidable, and that game always is, whether their record shows it or not. But the two you pointed to were Texas, Penn State. Those are your circle the calendar games. We're going to be those two. Let's see what you're all about. And the schedule set up perfectly. Michigan at the end. This one a little bit more past the middle, and then the opener with Texas. It all set up for this, and now we have what we have. But listen, they're going to come down that ramp tomorrow in those all whites, and you're going to start seeing images in your head of the icons who have played in this game and the classic games that have been played. And that part is going to have some big-time value for you. How much does Penn State have in the tank? How motivated will they be? I think supremely. Will any of it matter? My hunch is probably not. But the bigger picture thing here is this thing goes away after this year, and if I'm the Buckeyes, I take that out on them tomorrow. We're going to get you set. 3 full hours of it here on a Halloween edition of the program. Tim May coming up at 10:30. Doug at 11:30. We will attempt to know the scores coming up at 11 o'clock. We'll tell you what we expect to see when the Bucks have the ball, when the Nittanies. What's it going to be like welcoming Jim Knowles back home? At least his temporary home for a little while. We'll get to all of that as only we can. We're off and running on a Football Friday edition. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. Just freak the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Don't let credit hold you back. Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall welcomes all credit types with open arms. Find your dream ride and get approved fast. Call 614-861-7150 or on the web at capitalfordofcolumbus.com.
Hey guys, it's Bobby Carpenter here. Are you feeling low energy, trouble focusing, less interest in the things you used to enjoy? How about this? Less strength. It could be low testosterone. Affinity Whole Health is offering free labs to check your testosterone levels. These labs, they're normally $99, but in the month of October, they are free. Sign up now at feelgreatcolumbus.com. Learn why I and thousands of other men trust the experts at Affinity Whole Health. Go to feelgreatcolumbus.com and feel like yourself again.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine. Give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my blueberries. Give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Do you feel the nip in the air? Oh, baby, people think summer's driving season. They're wrong. You spend more time in your car this time of year, taking your dirty, annoying kids to dirty, annoying things. Go see my friends at Germain Lexus. They have special rates as low as 4.49% on their most popular models, including the 2026 TX350. Lease a 2026 NX for as low as $449 per month. And if new isn't your thing, they have plenty of L's certified inventory on the lot. Stop in and see them. Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. GermainLexus.com.
Newman Roofing, as part of its 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to recognize individuals who go above and beyond to make a difference for people of all abilities. This week, we honor Alex Osuji. Alex has made an impact by volunteering for the Buddy Walk dance team and is a member of his church's hospitality team. During this Down Syndrome Awareness Month, Newman Roofing is proud to join forces with 10 TV and The Fan in celebrating our ongoing commitment to the community.
If you love losing big money, then boy do we have the promo code for you. Enter code BIGBEAUTIFULBILL to unlock these awesome offers. You can buy a car for even more money than before, or watch your heat and electric bills skyrocket. It's exclusive for everyone, thanks to Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, which our Senator John Huston supported. So use promo code BIGBEAUTIFULBILL. Sit back and crack open a cold one, but just one, because that's all you can afford. Paid for by NRDC Action Fund.
Your credit, your car, our promise. At Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall, we approve all credit types. Perfect, challenged, or not. Drive off today with easy finance. Visit today or online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com.
Wake up and laugh with the Bob and Tom Show on the Fan 2.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
It says here they've won 5 Marconi Awards. I can't even spell Marconi. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Bob and Tom Show.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means you pick your wager. Will it be $1, $2, a crisp $20? Your call. Like picking your own numbers, use any inspiration you like. Birthdays, jersey numbers, you name it. And if you don't feel like choosing, there's the Super Quick Auto Pick. With regular promotions that'll get you more bang for your Keno buck, multiple ways to win, prizes galore, and live draws every few minutes. Anytime is the right time to get in on the Keno action. Keno is always fun, your way. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday and happy Halloween. A mix of clouds and clear skies today with plenty of sunshine coming in. Daytime highs will get in the mid to upper 50s, but with breezy winds, it'll feel much cooler. For tonight, partly cloudy overnight, lows down into the mid to upper 30s. And for Buckeye football, we'll have a mix of sun and clouds. Could see a stray shower, although mainly dry, with highs in the mid to upper 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with a 10 weather impact forecast.
Are you working? Because we barely are. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football and quiet quitting. The Fan. If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And join the Fan live on campus Saturday. The Buckeyes host the Nittany Lions. We're tailgating at the O Patio and Pub on Lane beginning at 7, featuring live bands, great food, fun times. Come by post-game for a live set from North to Nashville. Those guys rock. The Fan at the O Patio and Pub on Lane is sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers, Jameson Whiskey, and, of course, Coors Light. Did you guys survive? Did you guys have Beggars Night last night?
It's tonight in Grandview.
Grandview tonight? Okay. How about you, Beck? We're in your neck of the woods. Did you get some kids?
So my condo place never gets any kids. They all probably go somewhere else in Hilliard to do their trick-or-treating or whatnot. So nobody. I've never in 10 years gotten one knock on the door.
Do you leave the light on?
Well, yeah.
Like welcoming the children?
Listen, I'm like Motel 6. The light is always on, Bo.
We have one regular email who'll be happy to know that, and perhaps you could give the address and she'd just show up. Maybe that's the way that it goes. Yeah, it's good. So we had the Beamsy has this idea. Him and his buddies are going as like giant sharks, and he hates the costume. And it's like from the Katy Perry shark thing, which is a long time ago now, but to him that is now vintage. And so he doesn't know how he's going to walk around in it because it's going to be pretty brisk tonight. And I'm like, dude, you bought it, you're wearing it. You're gonna walk, you're gonna trudge around in that thing. Like that's the way that it goes. So I think Bootsy's going as Elmo, and NBC's going as a frat boy. And I'm like, I really could have helped you with this. Like, I have a tie. I have things that we could have done here. But, of course, he's 13 years old, and I think he has all the answers. So we go to get in the car this morning, and he doesn't look like a frat boy at all. And I'm like, well, you at least have to do these 3 things. And then he did them, and at least it's maybe passable, maybe at best. Reese, no mustache. You can grow a mustache in 6 hours. I don't
had
understand.
it up until Monday, and then I shaved. And So when I grow my facial hair out, the first thing that I go after is the mustache. It's the first thing I take. And I went in thinking, all right, take everything but the mustache.
Yeah.
But again, I went after the mustache. So I have to I have to almost talk myself into remembering, don't take the mustache.
Don't take it
Take
off.
everything but the mustache, then look and see how it feels or see how it looks. But I didn't. So best laid plans.
Yeah, you look great. Bake, will you dress up at all tonight, or do you got to call games?
Yeah, I got to call games tonight, so I'll be looking like a football coach probably in my khakis and quarter zips. So,
what is the percentage of high school kids will be dressed up tonight going to playoff games?
Oh, it's got to be like 90% at least.
That's kind of what I think, right?
Yeah.
NBC was all worried 'cause he's going to the high school game, and he's like, I don't want to get made fun of in a costume. I'm like, dude, I think everyone's going to be in a costume.
Yeah, it's the ones who won't wear the costume that might find themselves on the outside looking in.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I thought I'd participate. So I have the Maverick jacket from Top Gun, and I called. This was years ago, and I've mentioned this before, but through just absurd circumstances, I got to be friends with the Secretary of the Navy, and so. He's a huge Browns fan, and so he's from Cleveland. So that was kind of the way in. He's the best guy ever, Tom Moodley. And so I reached out to him, and I said, I go, you got, and as if he doesn't have bigger plans, right? Like he's running the Navy, and some dipstick goes, hey, man, can you get me a Maverick jacket? So he goes, I can't get you a Maverick jacket, but this is as close as I could get. So I got it from him, and a worst case scenario, I can always throw this on. I'm not going to do the show in Aviators because I don't think I'll be able to see it. And quite honestly, this is going to last like one more segment because it's actually functionally hot. It's ridiculously hot, and there's no way that I'm going to keep this on for 3 hours.
I was going to say, in another year, you could go as the president of Ohio State.
That wouldn't be bad.
So mix it up a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah.
Bo, I'm actually sweating for you. So
it's crazy. It's crazy. But it's got all of it's an incredible jacket. It actually has all of the authentic patches that Pete Mitchell had. So you've got, I think the Mitchell thing somewhere in here. I don't know. Oh, there it is. The Texas, all of that. So Tomcat, top 10.
This from a movie?
Huh?
This from a movie?
You've seen the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a sequel?
You never saw Maverick, but you saw the first one. So this, I like to say, and this gets me out of shaving my face. I say this is Pete Mitchell after Dark Star folds, after the success, and I know you haven't seen the film, after the success of Top Gun Maverick, with Penny in Miramar, unshaven, running the hard deck. That's what I'm going for here. That's at least that's the way that I try to rationalize it a little bit. How do we rationalize that Penn State's going to be a serious threat tomorrow? Can we talk ourselves into it? Or is the fact that Aller's out,
you're painting a turd
young
gold.
Quarterback.
I mean, I'm looking at these numbers. So Penn State comes in. They're supposed to be this dynamic rushing team. They're 9th in the Big Ten in rush yards per game. They're 7th in rush touchdowns. In the Big Ten, I didn't look nationally because I feel that would be just a tad too disrespectful for a team that's got the tradition on the ground as Penn State. 12th in yards per game, 7th in points per game. If you want to go to the passing stats, they're worse. They're 16th in pass yards per game. They're almost the bottom of the conference in passing yards for the entire season. So I don't know.
It's hard to find a way.
You have to keep up with this Ohio State offense.
Yeah.
And
it's hard. Again, we said this at the beginning of the week. They still have to this point, I think they have the second most talented roster Ohio State's played behind Texas's, and it's really close. This is a team that started the year number 2 in the country. Now, they don't have Aller anymore, and it's been a mess. They don't have their head coach, all of these things. It's known. The Rojas injury was a real one. We talked about him, I remember, at the beginning of the year, just how what his leadership was going to mean to the Nittany Lions. There is this thought in the back of your head of whatever their best is, maybe you get it. And I know that's something Ryan Day has been trying to sell all week, including earlier, this was yesterday from his show, talking about the fact that usually when you play these guys, it's a war.
They're a good team. Certainly the running backs run hard. The offensive line is as good as they were a month ago. It's just they haven't quite found their rhythm yet. And we know that. So this is going to be a battle. Always is against Penn State. You know that. All the games we played against them at home or on the road. And I'm glad we got them at home. But this is going to be a war. And so, we got to do everything we can at noon to make sure we're playing our best football.
Yeah. And, when he said, I think if Aller was still here, and this is no knock on the kid from Olentangy. It's not that. It's just you're talking about a kid who'd started 3 years, and we were as skeptical as Al or as anybody, versus a kid who's going to be making, his second start, third start? It's just a brutal spot to be paratrooped into. So all of those factors, I think, take some of the danger off it. The one thing that they do have is Katron Allen, and he can get downhill. For whatever reason, they have not been able to get Nick Singleton going at all. Sonny Styles spoke yesterday on the Penn State run game and the abilities they have.
I think their offensive line, they're very violent. Like, they go hard, they put guys on their backs. They're chasing people downfield, trying to find someone to hit. And their running back, they run hard, run physical, especially when they get downfield. Once they get rolling 5-10 yards, they're rolling. They run the ball really hard. Yeah, I mean, I would say just about both of them. They're both big, strong, and fast, and they can do anything out there. They can catch the ball at the backfield. They can run downhill. They can get going on the edge, so they can do everything. They're good backs.
It pains me that this is where this is, that we're trying to sell this. Some of my favorite memories covering Ohio State in the 18 years I've done it revolve around this game. I mean, this game had so many classic moments in it, so many great games. The game over there in 14 it's such a massive moment, and to be there and to experience it, I'll never forget it. And I always felt, I mean, those who listen regularly know that I've said this a lot. I always felt like I wanted Penn State to be better than Penn State wanted to be a little bit. And maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe this changes it. I think this next hire is just going to be a massive one, because I think to Reese's point earlier, I think it can go very, very poorly, especially in today's day and age. However, it can also flip quick. You get one guy with momentum. We know these schools in the Big Ten are loaded with cash. And so if you hire the right guy and you have motivated boosters, which they clearly do because they were willing to pay that buyout, you can flip it quick. But it can also go off a cliff pretty quick.
I'm wondering also, when the next head coach comes in and you're maybe a year into the new regime, you maybe resubmit the 3 protected games application to them. You say, well, we got the Franklin one we lost in the facts didn't come through all the way. So here's the application. Please write down. And maybe they've got a little more chutzpah and say, okay, we want Ohio State every year.
Honestly, think about that for a second. Let it marinate. Put yourself in their shoes. Can you imagine that time coming around and the program is as healthy as the program is when that question was asked, and folks over there saying no?
Unrivaled.
And then trying to sell it as we're unrivaled. Go to hell.
Well,
you're unrivaled. What are you talking about? You're unrivaled. They don't want, and they have history of this. Remember, they didn't want to play the backyard brawl for the longest time. Or no, not the backyard brawl. They didn't want to play Pitt. They wouldn't play Pitt. Sometimes they won't play West Virginia. Like, who do you want to play? Penn State? Who do you want to play?
Rutgers.
You don't want to play Pitt. You don't. If I was a Penn State guy, and a good buddy of mine is, like, I would want to play Pitt, West Virginia, and Ohio State every year. Throw in Maryland. Give me a Virginia Tech. Like, I would want to play teams around me that are great teams that mean a lot to what matters to a Penn State alumnus? Who do they want to play? I don't even know.
Bo, it's funny that, and I believe those lists were submitted before Tony Petitti became the commissioner of the Big Ten, but it's funny that a commissioner that is all about the TV show and all about inventory would put up with this. Like, it's insane that Ohio State will not play USC in the first 2 years of those teams being in the conference.
Oh, God, yeah.
A commissioner that has put money at the forefront in the biggest television shows and products you could have. Yeah, Penn State, who cares? They don't have to play Ohio State every year. They don't have to play Michigan.
And you know what buttresses your point? They are 0-4 in the conference, and this sucker's big noon.
Yep.
That tells you all you need to know. That those two brands, you give the opportunity to play them, and the television networks want them. So it's a great point. I cannot believe it was allowed to happen. Jim Knowles, you think he'd like to have that one back? We'll hear from Ryan Day on that, his players as well, coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you've hit your medical deductible, now's the time to see Dr. Mark Levy. Get a custom oral appliance that stops snoring and helps you ditch that CPAP and pay less out of pocket. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com before the year ends.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, How about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
Treat yourself to a new ride from Coughlin Ford. Lease a new 25 Ford Mustang, Escape, or Bronco Sport. $399 a month with 0 down. New 25 Bronco, Explorer, F-150, or Lightning, only $499 a month with 0 down. Visit our newest location in Marysville or CoughlinFord.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
48-month lease, all factory rebates to dealer. 7,500 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. Excludes $387 dock fee, $395 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 10/31/25.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Don't let your insurance benefits go to waste. End the year sleeping better with Dr. Mark Levy's oral appliance. No mask, no noise, just results. Hurry, deductibles reset soon. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com today.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? So with you.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Football Friday edition of the program. Buckeyes and Nittany Lions Saturday, high noon at the Shoe. The return of Jim Knowles is a part of this. Now, this has happened before. It was not the circumstances were very different, but I remember when Urban Meyer hired Larry Johnson, and you went, whoa, because Larry Johnson was a Penn State legend. And if memory serves, a story that had something to do with the fact that he was not just promoted and made the head coach at Penn State after Bill O'Brien. And that was kind of the way that I have it in my head. I don't know if that's tracks or not, but that's the way I remembered it. And quite honestly, I'm too lazy to look it up here. But my hunch is that's probably what it is. Go ahead, Vic.
Well, and obviously it's not Penn State, but we had this last year, right, with Tony Alford.
Oh,
returning.
Sure. Yeah. And well, we had Madison too. So we've had this happen, before, where we've had coordinators bounce back and forth amongst rivals, and certainly we've had it in this rivalry. This one was a little bit different because Jim Knowles did what he was hired to do here. He was hired to come in and fix the defense, and it took a little while, as they're experiencing over there. But by the time you got to last season, Ohio State's defense, with Jim Knowles coordinated, ranked first in yards allowed, first in scoring defense, first in red zone defense in college football, and you won a national title. And the iconic play of that series and that run to the national title is a defensive play with Jack Sawyer. So all of those things worked, but in the middle of it, he decides he needs a raise and so forth and so on. Meantime, Penn State says, gosh, we're as all in as can be. We're spending on the roster. We're spending on all of it. We got to get these coordinators, got to get the defense fixed. We got to get everything aligned. We got an NFL quarterback, all of it. Next year's our year. What does it take to get Jim Knowles? That's the price. Let's do it. Sign him on the line, which is dotted, and that's how we end up here. Now, none of us would take anything back that's happened because we think the defense is better now with Patricia than it was with Knowles, and the defense with Knowles was nothing short of elite. I don't know. We're going to try to decipher here, listening to Coach and some of the players. I'm not sure what the real truth is on how everybody feels about all of this. But Ryan was asked about it Tuesday, about the program and the relationship with Jim Knowles, and here was his answer.
Like any relationship, when it breaks off, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but there really hasn't been much communication. He did a great job when he was here, helped us win a national championship, and kind of left it at that. And then it was, hey, we got to go make a replacement and move on from there. So, yeah, that's kind of how it is. And it was abrupt, but we certainly respect the work that he did when he was here.
That's a good job out of Ryan to phrase all of that the way that he did. In terms of the familiarity with Knowles and how much, if anything, does it help Ohio State tomorrow? Here's Ryan on that.
Yeah, we look at everything, and I know they do too. Sometimes when you have so many years against somebody, you have so much stuff that you can get yourself distracted. It's going to come down to fundamentals in this game, as we know. He will definitely have some curveballs. He always does. So we have to identify what those are early on and then go from there.
Obviously, for some of these players, it's even more personal. If you think about the defensive players, for sure, they would have, Caleb Downs spent last year with Jim Knowles. It's obviously Matt Patricia this year. He's excellent. I think I could coordinate him, and he would be just fine. But here is Caleb on going up against his former defensive coordinator.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I feel like it's another challenge for us. I mean, that's how we're looking at it. I mean, he left last year, and wish him the best, but not this week. So
I know that some of our players had said before the year, he was kind of talking to him about what you guys do well. Do you think about that in terms of he might be kind of telling their offense different things you guys do on defense?
We're both doing the same thing. So we're telling him what we know about Coach Knowles. He's telling whoever they got over there what he knows about us. So and that's how it is.
That's a really good question of Dan Hope, 11 of Warriors, and also a really good answer from Caleb. Him, he knows you, right? Everybody knows each other. It's just going to be about execution and those things. Here's Brandon Ennis on going against a guy he went up against in practice a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge. He did a lot of great things here. We know what he likes to do. But we got to be ready for anything. He can throw anything at us, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge.
Do you think about the fact that he's seen you guys for 2 years? He might know some of the tendencies you guys have.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, we still run some of the same plays, some of the base plays, but it's like I said, it's gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be fun, but we'll see what happens.
I tend to think a lot of this stuff is stuff we make a big deal out of, but I don't. There's obviously personal relationships, and I don't know what it was like for Jim in the building in terms of, was he somebody who was having some jocularity with the guys? Was he bouncing in and out of rooms? I have no idea what that day-to-day was like. I don't. But I'm sure that there are some personal relationships, some guys that he was very close with that were here. But in terms of the X's and O's of it, I don't know that him knowing Ryan really well or Ryan knowing him really well makes too much of a difference. These two teams are so different. This Buckeye offense is so different than it was a year ago. I don't know how much cross-pollination there's even going to be on Saturday. This team just does not resemble offensively what it was a year ago much at all.
No, and it starts with the quarterback. Will Howard and Julian Said, they're not similar.
No.
I mean, there's just such a difference in how Will commanded the offense and how Julian commands this current incarnation of the Ohio State offense. But also, I don't know if it's really, if you need a defensive binder like Jim Knowles likes to bring to figure out how to at least try and stop this Ohio State offense. But it's one thing to scheme and it's another thing to do it.
Yeah.
And through 7 games, nobody's been able to. So if Ohio State plays, and this has been such a good job, I think, out of Ryan Day the entire year, is making it about them and playing their game to perfection and cleaning up their mistakes. And if they do that, if they play a clean game, it doesn't matter what Penn State schemes. It doesn't matter how hard Penn State plays.
And when you say what Penn State schemes, I don't know if they're going to scheme anything. Because I think if we had one complaint with Jim Knowles, it was that he was going to run the defense that he ran, and that's what they were going to do regardless, and that caused some problems possibly here. So I don't know. Jim Knowles is a great defensive coordinator, and I think a lot of people around here try to forget that because of the way he left. They think, oh, well, good riddance, we're better off without you. It doesn't mean he wasn't the best in college football to do it last year. Because he was. The issue is, what he does. And I don't think he strays from that too often. So I think that's going to be advantage Ohio State in this, because I don't know if Jim Knowles is going to scheme up anything different other than what he does.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's also this notion of X's and O's versus Jimmys and Joes. And I like our Jimmys and Joes better. So I think that's part of it too. I think it's always hard in sports. I mean, fan is short for fanatic. It's difficult to be both appreciative of the job he did, and we should be. They were the best defense in the country last year, and he won a national championship. Like, that could have gone a lot of different ways, but it didn't. All those guys came back. He coordinated it up. They had the number one defense in the country in every statistical measurement that matters, and you won a national title. And it was also pretty abrupt, the way that it all came to an end. And look, he's a 60-year-old man, and he's being compensated very well here, but he wanted to strike while the iron was hot. There were coordinator jobs that were open that were going to pay him exponentially more, and he took it. And a lot of people probably would do a similar thing in that spot. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to hang 60 tomorrow for a bunch of reasons. I'd like to hang 60 on him. I'd like to hang 60 on them because they don't want to play this game anymore. I don't care much that they're wounded. It doesn't really affect me much. I hope that what we get tomorrow is an avalanche of points against them. And we'll see if it happens or not. My hunch is it could be in play, although I did see the number keeps trickling down.
It's 19.5.
Didn't it start 21 or 20.5? Somewhere in there.
At least a point since last seeing it. Like 20.5 is what we've kind of been saying all week.
Yeah.
So now it's down to 19.5, the over-under 45.5.
I haven't even looked at. I apologize to Meredith. I did not hear her weather this morning. What do we got tomorrow? It's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're probably mid 40s to start. Low 50s.
Yeah, it'll be 51
sunny.
at kick, mostly cloudy. You're looking at no rain in the forecast. Mild
Any
precipitation in the morning. No, not really.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Pretty good day for November 1st.
Yeah, let's spin it around, kids. Let's get out there and live a little bit. We'll get back to the Buckeyes and the Nittanies in the weekend in college football coming up shortly. Coming up next, the Ravens did what I thought that they would do. They went down to Miami and put a whooping on the Dolphins. We've got a World Series Game 6 tonight. I said something at the end of the show yesterday that I wanted to revisit a little bit in terms of our perspective on greatness. We'll get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Credit challenges, we got solutions. At Capital Florida, Columbus, and Whitehall, all credit types are welcome. Good, fair, poor, or none. Get approved fast and cruise away happy. Stop in or visit us online at capitalfloridacolumbus.com.
Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival returns May 14th through 17th with My Chemical Romance, Tool, Bring Me the Horizon, and Shinedown. Plus, Pierce the Veil, Good Charlotte, The Offspring, Sublime, Godsmack, Breaking Benjamin, Marilyn Manson, and so many more. Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio, May 14th to 17th. Passes on sale now for as low as $1 down at SonicTempleFestival.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means 3 things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Earn 2% cash back on purchases and pay 0% APR on balance transfers for 15 months with a new Kemba Financial Credit Union Visa. That's more rewards and less interest. Apply at Kemba.org. For purchases and balance transfers made in the first 90 days, restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Variable and subject to change. Equal opportunity lender expires 10/31/25.
Parents, are your teens good with money?
No.
Switch to Huntington Bank and let's teach them. They get their own card, which they can add to their digital wallet
wallet, and you can monitor and set spending limits. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Join the fan weeknights at 6 for the Buckeye Show. And if you're asking if it's just a bunch of homers rooting for all things Ohio State, yes, it is. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
All credit types are welcome at Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall. From perfect scores to starting fresh, we'll get you driving. Shop our huge selection and leave in your new car today. Stop in or visit us online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com.
Timmy Hall and AI Common Man here for Hollywood Casino Columbus and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
This ain't one of them, Timmy.
It's not the show, it's a spot. All October, we're watching our football team on Saturdays and the tailgate buffet.
Ooh, Mikey likey. Plus, they've got the 3 apps for $12 deal, and you can beat the crowds and reserve a table.
Yes, do that at HollywoodColumbus.com. And we got a special offer this month. Become a new member of our rewards program on the ESPN Penn Play app and get a $20 dining credit.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know Byers Airport Subaru is the oldest Subaru retailer in the entire country? And just like a veteran quarterback, we've been delivering winning drives for generations right here by the airport. At Byers, we treat every customer like part of the team because that's what keeps us in the game season after season. From tailgates to road trips, we've got the perfect Subaru to get you there. Kick off your next adventure at columbussubaru.com or visit us by the airport. Byers Auto, driving the next generation of buyers.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Thursday Night Football last night. Baltimore went down to Miami and handled its business. 28-6, the final in that one. Lamar comes back with 4 touchdowns. We started getting a little bit of a... I felt so confident about this. I just saw Lamar bouncing around like ready to go at a press conference earlier in the week, and it feels like Baltimore was kind of building towards this. They were sitting there at 1-5. They had Chicago at home. I could not believe he did not play last week in the game against Chicago. But then on the short week, you go, okay, it makes sense. They beat Chicago, handle their business, and then they go down to Miami, and now they sit at 3-2. And if you are someone who does not like the Baltimore Ravens, or if you are someone like Matty Hayes who loves the Baltimore Ravens, and you look at their schedule the next few weeks, you tell me, are you sure they're not going to be 10-5? They're going to be favored in every game for a minute going forward here with Baltimore. And they are, if you go back to all the way back to July, before all of their injuries happened, before everything happened, you looked at them and you said, that team has the most pressure in the league to go win a Super Bowl. There's no notes on their roster. We said that when we did two-a-days. A lot of injuries happened. The results didn't show up. They lost some close classic games early. But you look at where they are now. If they can get healthy, and they look pretty dang healthy last night, there is no reason that this team can't get to the point where they win the AFC North and certainly be a playoff team. And if they do that, they are automatically. This stat you guys put in the prep from ESPN Analytics with the Ravens, a 43.2% chance of winning the North at 3-5. A 43% chance.
You got the Bengals twice and the Browns once. I think the Steelers one more time. So they control their own destiny as much as anybody in the AFC. It's wild that only 4 teams all time have started 1-5